Whatever, man. Whatever.
The Jaguars.
Whatever. Nick Foles coming to the Jaguars.
He talking about Nick Foles.
Exactly.
Nick Foles, Super Bowl champion quarterback.
Concussion Foles.
Exactly.
All right. He better than Ben Roethlisberger.
Man, stop playing.
Hey, man, I'm on the air, man. Y'all.
Tell him cool.
The people hear you. Man, run it back. We ain't got no playing.
There you go.
We ain't playing. This ain't no game, man. This episode 94.
All right, y'all. All right, now. Your mic live.
All right, baby. Man. I'm gonna give you. We walk over here, man. We're gonna change it.
I'm gonna have to move that. I got you. I'm gonna switch it around.
Well, let's practice, bro. Like Allen Iverson, let's practice. Good evening, good evening. Man, which one of these microphones?
That's the one you need right there.
Which one of these microphones working, man?
Roll with it.
Which one of these microphones?
All of them working.
Nah, man, this one ain't even on, bro.
It's on. Go ahead.
It ain't on, man. Oh, that's better, man. Turn the thing on, bro.
Man, keep talking.
Turn the thing on, man. Stop playing with it. This is episode 94. Good evening, good evening, good evening.
Now, what is this
This your
called?
host, Joaquin Thompson, coming to you live from
What?
Lilburn, Georgia.
Come on now.
But this is episode,
Say it with your chest.
this is episode 94. So for those of you, hold on, man, these headphones gotta go, man.
There you go. That's the one you
Can you
need
turn
right
on
there.
these other headphones?
There you go. That's the one you need right there.
This one, man.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, that's much better, man. Oh, man, make me want to, take a nap. But, we on, for those of you that are joining for the first time, my name is Joaquin Thompson Sr. I'm the host of the Daily Bread Radio Show. And what we do on the Daily Bread Radio Show is we teach, talk, discuss personal finance. And when we say we talk about personal finance, we talk about every aspect of personal finance because everything that you do is about personal finance. Don't get it, some people say twisted, don't get it confused.
All of the money.
Everything that you do has to do with personal finance. So if you think that it's not tied to personal finance, then I'm not even gonna comment on that because we're having a good day today. We're having a great, I mean, it's just a great day today. But again, for those of you that are joining for the first time, we discuss, talk about, present topics of personal finance from a spiritual perspective. We do not do religion on the Daily Bread Radio Show.
Don't do it.
And the reason we don't do religion is because when you start talking about religion,
Say the P word.
man, I'm not going. Man, you're doing a lot of, man, I think you like this show, bro. I think you can't wait to have this show come into your life every week.
We got a new tour.
From 8 to 9. And we got a new, man, we got something. If I don't do nothing but just write my name on that thing today, man. I'm going to write on that thing. We gonna do something on that thing, but we don't do religion. Because when you start doing religion, things get real tricky. They get real gray. People get real sensitive. So we don't do that, but we do, this is what we do. We only do God. That's it. You call him what you want. Some people call it the Creator, Yahweh, Jehovah,
Yahweh.
Yahweh. Man,
Yahweh.
listen, man, you ain't gonna put tomato, bro. I said God.
Say Yahweh.
I said God.
Okay.
Okay. How about that? See, that's why we don't do it. You see why we don't do it. That's why we don't do it. Not even worrying about pronunciation. How about this? The great I am. How about that?
Well, you said it that time.
How about that? You know what I'm saying? How about that? Thinking I ain't listening, I'm listening. So that's what we do. We do topics related to personal finance, and we also do things that can help people. We solve problems on the Daily Bread Radio Show.
Come on.
So if you listen to what I'm talking about week in and week out, and if you take the steps, if you go in and take the steps, because it's more than just, oh, I heard him say, oh, I heard him talk about. No, don't hear me say or hear me talk about it. Take the steps.
Come on.
Take the steps. Take the action. Because if you don't take the action, it's nothing going to happen. It's nothing going to happen. So got to give you all an update. I know we've been talking about different things that's going on in my radio personality life, and today was one of the highlights. I had the opportunity and the honor to do a presentation today, financial literacy
Where you doing
presentation at Morehouse College. Morehouse College in Atlanta. Shout out to Dean and Dr. Hubbard. And I mean, it was an excellent. It was sponsored by the Talent Assessment and Development Academy. And what they do is they bring in different speakers to speak to their student body about different topics. And I'm gonna be modest. I'm gonna be modest about what happened, but I crushed it. But
Come on.
like I told them, I said, look,
Drop the mic.
listen, I said, I'm the most important person that you've never met in your life. And I know you sitting there thinking like, what is he talking about? I said, the reason I'm the most important person you've never met in your life
Never met.
is because I had some information that could save your financial life. It could save your financial life. So if you sitting up in there thinking that it's just about education, no, I'm gonna educate you. Joe was looking at me and saying, man, who is this guy? So, but we had a really good dialogue. The other thing we were able to do, we had a production team there. Started shooting part of the pilot episodes for the 6 pilot shows that I'm doing. So got some of that, got some feedback, some direct interviews from students. So it was just a blessing all the way around. Just a huge blessing all the way around. So shout out to Morehouse College. Had to pick me up a sweatshirt to add to the collection just to, commemorate the moment. But I think this is the first of many episodes. Okay, caller, we got a call on there. It's Joaquin with the Daily Bread Radio Show. What's your name? Where you calling from?
Yeah, calling for the NYC to bread.
I thought, man, hey man, you getting the demerit. You calling to this show late again, you getting a demerit. Hey, you calling to this show one more time, you gonna get a demerit. I'm telling you right now.
You know I gotta call in.
I know if you don't call in, bruh, if you
people from Belgium calling in.
Oh man, they from Belgium. Let me speak my Belgium. Let me get my Belgium out. Googlelet.
Yes.
Googlelet.
You gotta push that.
Googlelet. I think Googlelet. Hey man, don't make me start on with my different languages, man, like Dobre Utro. You know what I'm saying? Hey man, like Sanford son, like Fred Summer used to say. Say some shampipple, man. You know what I'm saying? But no, man, I appreciate you calling in, brother. Appreciate everything, all of the energy that you bring to the show. We got our 94th episode, and we're just sharing with everybody about, the blessing that I had today, man, and sharing in these young men's life from over at Morehouse College. And it was a phenomenal event, man. I'm being really modest about it, man. But it was one of my best presentations, man, because the passion was incredible. I mean, and the students, most time when you speak to young people, especially when they don't know you, they just have like a blank look, like who are you? What are you? Man, these kids was looking at me, man, like, man, so you really like? I'm like, bro, I'm giving it to you straight. Because when you leave from Morehouse College and you graduate in May, I said, man, it's gonna get real quick. Just like that, it's gonna get real quick. So they was like really appreciative, man. A lot of them came up to me afterwards and was like, thank you, Mr. Thompson, for bringing that information, man. You really gave me some stuff to think about. The administrators there, all of them were like, they were really pleased in, everything that, I shared with the students. And they were just happy. I mean, genuinely, happy and appreciative about all of the stuff that I was sharing. Because I was like, we really have to do a better job in sharing information with young people, because every time I'm talking to somebody that's a little older, they always tell me, like, I wish somebody had told me this when I was young, right? They always come back and tell me that. I wish somebody had told me that while I was young. So, I always look back at it and say, you know what, I'm gonna do my part and make sure that if I have a positive word that I can share with you, I'm gonna share that with you, so that way that we can all you know, all take advantage of the opportunity. So that's one of the things that I'm really appreciative about is just God giving me the opportunity, because like I shared with the dean, when she's not the dean, she's the director, but Dr. Hubbard, what I was sharing with Dr. Hubbard was I was really moved by the fact that although I submitted a proposal, she took the proposal, had it approved, but then she allowed me to come in and speak to these students and had never seen me speak nowhere before, didn't even know me. So if I came in and didn't come in prepared, didn't come in dressed for the role, didn't come in ready for action, that would have been a direct reflection of her, because she's over the program. She's over the Talent Assessment and Development Academy. It's her program. So I was just like, just shared with her how, I really was appreciative of, everything that she did and the opportunity, because, man, all of this waiting on somebody else to educate our kids, it's not gonna happen, man. That's why I do this show every week. I don't know who we waiting on. I don't know who we think gonna come in and say, hey, man, let's educate all of these, people that don't know. I'm telling you, man, some of the brightest minds in economics and in commerce and wealthy people. One of my favorite people is Robert Kiyosaki. Robert Kiyosaki, if you all are not following him on YouTube, you need to be following Robert Kiyosaki.
Good dad,
because,
bad
yeah, of Rich Dad Poor Dad fame. And the thing that I like about Robert Kiyosaki is this. One thing about people as they age, as you age in life, you get to certain points in your life when you age, and you start to share even more wisdom about why you do what you do. Here's a man that's, very wealthy, and his message has been consistent the whole time, and he's telling people, this is all about mindset. This is all about mindset. And he said the mindset is not the fact that some people have access to capital and some people don't. He said the problem is some people have a poor mindset. And when you have a poor mindset, you don't believe, nor do you think things could be better. You don't even believe that you can make money. In your mind, you don't believe it, because you can't conceptualize. You can't conceptualize how you can do it. Because in your mind, you're thinking like, it ain't possible. Like I can't see myself making more money. Like, this is all I'm gonna make. And then what you do, he said the worst part is, then what that does is we transfer that down to our offspring. So now your kids are watching you not believe it. Now they start not believing it. Now they thinking like, we poor, we always gonna be poor, right? And it's just in their mind. It's only in your mind. And that's why I've been really stressing with the Daily Bread audience and people that I'm talking to, no matter where I go, the kids that I talk to today, it's like, look, man, look, think like you want to be, act like it, and then you will become it. Just think, and you just fill in the blank. If you think like a rocket scientist, and you act like a rocket scientist, before long, you're going to be a rocket scientist. But if you continue to let these people brainwash you and talk about what you can't do, how to spend your money, where to spend your money, where not to spend your money, I'm like, bro, every week I'm giving out solutions on this show. Every single week. People, they reach out to me like, man, I wish I could do this, man. I'm like, bro, I can't make it no, I'm distilling it down to the nth degree. Simple. Stop spending, and learn personal finance.
Okay.
Learn personal finance.
You got a person on Facebook Live, Harry B. Jackson.
Okay.
He said, I want to know your thoughts on BET's Black Lives Matter documentary on Sunday.
My honest opinion, I haven't had the chance to look at it, but here's the thing. I haven't had a chance to look at that documentary. I will go back and look at it. But even bigger than that, this is something that I told the Morehouse students today. And this is the gospel, right? And when I mean the gospel, when I say it's the gospel, this is something that I believe in every fiber of my being. And it's not gonna be, I'm not gonna give you a long answer, but I'm gonna give you something that you can understand. One of the slides that I showed today talked about a program that Dr. King started in listen to what I'm saying to you, 1963, right? That was 54 years ago. Dr. King started a program that was part of the SCLC, and it was called Operation Breadbasket, right? One of the main objectives of Operation Breadbasket was to create jobs, right? Listen, create jobs in the black community, right? With companies that do business in the black community. So they literally would reach out to these different companies and say, hey, we want to see the data on how many employees, how many black employees do you have versus other, nationalities, and we want to see how many, they took it a step further and say, we also want to see how many black employees do you have in leadership positions. The companies would send them the information back to Operation Breadbasket. Operation Breadbasket would analyze the information and then do one or two things. If they felt like that they had a sufficient number of employees that were black, and they also had a sufficient number of blacks in leadership positions, they would respond and say, hey, we analyzed the data and we feel like you have the appropriate people in place. If they didn't feel like they had the appropriate people, they would respond in turn and say, hey, we need you to add X number of jobs, and we need you to add X number of black individuals in leadership positions, right? This is 1963. You talking about the civil rights movement, Jim Crow, all this other stuff is going on, right? You talking about lynchings. You talking about bombings. You talking about people like literally, not figuratively, literally going after people just because of the color of their skin, and the audacity of Dr. Martin Luther King to say, we're going to reach out, not to one business, I said businesses. And then, after the company responded, here's the other thing that they would do. They said, if you're going to do business in our community, you have to carry products that were produced by black companies, and, listen to this, and you had to have deposits at a black bank if you're doing business in a black community. This is 1963. So fast forward, it's 2019, right? Do you think, I haven't seen the documentary, and I love what Black Lives Matter, what they're doing from an organizational standpoint, right? But here's the question I'm gonna ask to you. Do you think in 2019, any organization could reach out to Publix, Kroger, Walmart, Harry Teeter, Whole Foods, any of them, and say, send me your demographic information on the number of jobs held by African Americans and the number of African Americans you have in leadership, and get a response from one of them companies, and tell the company you're going to analyze the data. Now, what happened with Operation Breadbasket, if they felt like they didn't have enough jobs with that particular company, they would organize a boycott. I got documentation where I went back and dug it up. A&P at the time was the biggest grocer in the 60s. A&P was the Publix of their day, right? I pulled up a document that says A&P agreed to hire 268 additional African Americans. They said they would carry African American products on their shelves. They would use African American businesses to do things like extermination, janitorial services in all of their stores. And when they're ready to construct or remodel a store, they would use a black business. And they would make deposits at a black bank. That was in 1963. So when people ask me about, I'm like, I get it. Black lives, I get it. But that's the long answer to this. The next movement, which we're in right now, is going to be economic. I don't know why people can't, for some reason people not understanding, people like, it's like going over people's head, they're like, oh, okay. Man, don't nobody care nothing about no marching. Now, I'm talking about in 2019, we did that to move the needle during the 60s. We had to do that, right? But right now, in 2019, I haven't seen, we've had all kinds of travesties happening. From Trayvon Martin to all of this police brutality. the Colin Kaepernick situation. But guess how just take the Colin Kaepernick situation. If we had an Operation Breadbasket type of commitment, right? If we had that type of commitment and say, hey, you know what? If you don't put this brother back in the league, we not going to no games. Now, I seen some organizations that tried to do that, right? I ain't going to the NFL. We're not performing at the NFL. We're not performing at the Super Bowl. But guess what? It was a whole lot of other people, me included, because I ain't going to be hypocritical, that went to games, right? So I'm like, because it's economic. Right now, we're getting priced out of everything from real estate. We're getting priced out of education. I just showed a graph to these students today at Morehouse. Do you realize students at HBCUs, 80 to 85% of all the students that go to HBCU are coming out with a student loan? Whereas our counterparts that are going to four-year private institutions are coming out with somewhere around 53%. How can we compete with that? How? You coming out with less student loans than I have, less people, and this is based on data. This ain't something that I just pulled out of the air like, oh, I think no, I'm talking about I have an analyst on my team that's an economist. He went and pulled the data. He went and pulled the data for the presentation. Numbers don't lie. Data don't lie. So if our kids are coming out, 85% of our kids, in the day during the presentation, I counted, it was 25, 30 kids in the room. When I got to this point, I counted 10 people.
Write it on the board, let them see it.
What? Count, what, 10?
Write it on the board, write it on the board so they can see what.
Man, I don't think they can see, man, they can't hear me. What you want me to write on the board? 10 people?
Write whatever you want to write on the board.
All right, man, let's go. Look, man. So this the new thing. Class is in session. Right? Class is in session. So let me write on this side so that way we can, let me do it like this. Oh, man, we need it. Man, if we gonna do this, man, we got to do this. Why you got these little Sharpies in here, man? Man, you gonna need some more markers, bro.
That's
Oh,
what you need.
better.
That's what you need right there.
All right, here we go. Look at this. Can y'all see? Man,
Grab the
move
mic
this
right
thing,
there.
man.
Grab the mic right there.
No, I ain't gonna grab no mic.
Pull that mic over just a little bit. That's
Just
all.
move it out the way.
That's all you need right there.
Man, we need to do this thing, man. How about that? Move that in quick, man. Move that in closer, man. Let me show y'all something, man. Let me put y'all up on something. Right? This is 2013. This is 2017. This right here, this is 85%. Let me write legibly. This is 85%, 75%. This is, down here is like 60%, right? So let me get another color. So then you come in, this is our kids, right? Our kids, when they go into college, the number of kids between 2013, so your horizontal axis between 2013 and 2017, right? Between this period of time, 2013 and 2017, right? This is the graph, these are our kids. Our kids are coming out with this amount of debt. The graph was like this, going up, like 2013 came down a little bit, kind of leveled off, went up like this. Kind of like that, right? So we still right around like the 80% mark, right? So we just say 80%. That was the average, right? So we at 80%. Man, you need some other markers, bro.
Keep going, man. Keep doing what you're doing.
Man, you need some, I'm gonna bring you some markers, man.
All right, that'll be good.
People can't read this, man. All right, and then you need an eraser too. So if you're gonna do this. Now, with our counterparts, let me show you how theirs looking. This is their graph. This is their graph on student loans. Something like this. Right? You see this? This is what you call, let me show you a disparity. You see this right here? You see this? You know what that's called? That's called a wealth gap. This right here. Our kids are coming out up here. Look, our kids are coming out up here, and their kids are coming out down here. Look at the difference. So how you gonna compete? How you gonna compete? And guess what? This kid is competing with this kid for a job. How you gonna compete? I got more student loan debt than you got, right? How are you gonna compete? How you gonna close this gap? You know how you close this gap? You start now saving so that when we get to another generation, you won't need to get all of these loans. Then look, this starts going down like this. That's like one generation. You could do that right now. It ain't gonna happen for me. I'm 52. But by the time my grandson, I got 10 years. My grandson's 8 years old. Right? By the time my grandson gets ready to go to college, he ain't gonna need no student loan. How about that? Because between me, my wife, his mother, his aunt, his uncle, his father, everybody putting in like, bro, we trying to look. You trying to get this to go down in there. So guess what? So when he come along, even if he don't need a student loan, if he need a little student loan, which one would you rather be at? Would you rather be here? Just between here? Look at that arrow. Would you rather be here or you want us to be still up here? What you gonna do? What you gonna do with that? You ain't gonna do nothing with that. You ain't gonna do nothing with, that's where we at right now, 2013 and 2017. That's where we at. So when you say, what's Black Lives Matter doing about that? Somebody please call into the show. Please, 712-770-4984. Somebody please call into the show and tell me what organization is gonna do something about that. That's what I wanna know. I don't wanna know, cause the next, man, we gotta move some of this microphone. This is blocking the board, bro. You can just take it off. It's blocking the board. So the thing about it is, this is when we start having conversations about what are we gonna do? What are we gonna do? You probably move that up a little bit. Just cut my head up. And I'm 6'1", bro. I'm like pro size.
You ain't no pro size.
I'm pro size, bro. I'm a pro. I'm a professional. But this is what we need to be concerned about. That's why we talk about what we talk about. Credit, having money. And some people might say, well, I don't make a lot of money, right? That's fine. You don't have to make a lot of money. Let me show you something. I'm gonna put y'all up, and I'm glad we got this whiteboard. So now, people really can't say, I don't get it. I don't understand. I'm like, okay, well, let me show you something. I'm about to put you up on something that you can take and work with right now. Let me show you the difference. Let me show you what's available to you, right? Here's two people. Two people named Sally. This is Sally A. This is Sally B. Right? Both of them named Sally, right? So let's talk about Sally A and Sally B. So Sally A made $30,000. She made $30,000 every year, right? Sally B, how much did Sally B make? Sally B made $30,000 a year, right? Okay, cool. Sally A is in a 30% tax bracket, right? Sally A. So what does that mean? That means she negative, right? It's coming down now, right? That's 30%. That's fair? Okay. What about Sally B? Sally B's in a 30% too, right? So we're gonna say 30% tax minus 9,000, right? I've been waiting on this board, man. I've been trying to teach all this. This episode 94. I've been teaching this. Listen. So now they're down to this. This 21,000. This 21,000. Sally A and Sally B look the same, right? But it ain't the same. You know why? Because Sally A is saying, hey, you know what? I'm going to put away 10%. I'm putting away 10% of my salary. I'm going to pay myself first. So she comes over here. She has $2,100 every year. She got $2,100 every year. How much is that? How much is it gonna take her to get to $2,100? Just say, I'm gonna do some dirty math. Just say 175 a month. 175 a month? Okay, how much is 175 a month? That's about $90 a paycheck, right? Just say 90 bucks, right? So you said $90. But guess what Sally B do? Sally B she putting away zero. Sally B putting away zero, right? Both of them, Sally A and Sally B, they make the same money. They get down here, guess what? She putting away 10%. You take away, that's $18,900, right? She got $18,900 to live on. She still got 21, right? So you would think in her mind, Sally B is thinking, but guess what Sally B is doing? This is my pet peeve right now. Know what she's doing? Let me spell it out for you. Lashes, nails. I'm gonna just put floss. That's an all.
Clubs.
A club. What else? What else? What's she doing? Trip. What else she doing? Homecoming.
Popping bottles.
You know, popping by. She doing all that, right? So guess what but she don't have, but listen what she got. She got zero savings. She got zero savings, but she done did all this, right? Sally A got $2,100 going in a month, right?
A month or a year?
No, a year. I'm sorry. $2,100 a year. Let me show you some magic. So in 10 years of doing this foolishness, 10 years later, guess what she got? In 10 years, guess what she got? She has this, $21,000. She got $21,000 in 10 years. And you might be saying, oh man, that ain't a lot of money. Let me tell you something. One is always more than zero.
Yes, it is.
Okay, one is more than zero. So 10 years later, she got $21,000. And guess what? Now somebody come to her and say, hey, you know what? It's a property. It's a property available. Here go a little house that you can buy. Matter of fact, it's a little apartment building. It's a 6-unit or 8-unit or whatever unit, right? And guess how much the down payment is? You need $15,000.
Wow.
No, I'm lying. You need $20,000 to get this little apartment building. Oh, okay. You got your down payment? Yeah, I got my down payment. You got your credit? I got my credit. I'm gonna listen to Daily Bread Radio Show. Guess what? Now she owns an apartment building. What's Sally B doing? Lashes, nails, flossing, club, trip. I said zero. What is she gonna have in 10 years? Zero.
Nothing from
This is happening every day. And if you think this is something that I made up, let me ask you a question. And I've given you the answer to this many times. Do you know the average person in the United States right now, today, 2019, March the 7th, what's the average amount that a person have in savings right now? The average. Look, I'm gonna just erase all of this and put it right here, slap dab in the middle, because I don't want nobody else. We know who we talking about over here. We talking about Sally A. You don't want to be Sally B. You know what? You know what this is? Listen. You see what that means? I'm gonna write it so you can read that. That's $1,000. The average person, they only got $1,000. And that's only, look, that's only 80% of the people in the United States they have $1,000 or less. So let me write that out, because some people will say, well, I ain't get what you said. I said or less. 80%, $1,000 or less. And they make the same money. Sally B, you want to be a Sally B? There you go. And I'm using small numbers. So it don't matter how much people think, oh, if I made more money, I'll save. No, you won't. No, you won't, because you can change this number. I've seen that number change to this. Let me show y'all something. That number could be this, 130. Let's add 130, right? You still got your taxes that you got to pay, right? And that's, even with that, we got to understand how taxes work, right? 13, 26, 39. Look, add a 3 in there. Now you paying, okay, so I'm going to stop right there. Sally B. Sally B got the good job. She making good money. How many people you know want to pay $39,000 in taxes? Your president don't pay no taxes. So Sally B still don't get it. Sally A do. Because if Sally A was making that same money, guess what she could do now? She would be saving more because she was only saving 10%. But now she's starting to save 10% of what? 91,000, which is what? That's 9,100 a year. So how much do you have in 10 years? In 10 years, Sally A, in 10 years, Sally A, I'm gonna just write it down like this. Because we do, this is what you call dirty math. $91,000. That ain't no pyramid scheme. That's nothing. That's real. This real. This real. And that's 10%. That's 10% of what you make, right? Over 10 years. So now you got 91,000. Can you imagine how much stuff you can do with $91,000 from an investment standpoint? Sending kids to college, retiring debt. It's right here. So I mean, we got to stop. We got to stop with the excuses. Stop talking about what we can't do. Stop talking about what we want to have, where we want to go. We got to stop taking these unnecessary trips to places that you're going to get there, but it's a time and a place. That's in the Bible. You know what it says in the Bible? In the Bible it says this. It's a time and a place for everything. It's a time and a place for everything. A time to be born and a time to die. That's in the Bible. So while you're trying to understand why we can't and make all these excuses about why we can't do this, my challenge to you is this. And the question that you have to ask yourself is this. Do you want to be Sally A? Do you want to be Sally A or Sally B?
Mediocre or great.
That's the bottom line. And I'm saying Sally, but that's for men too. Might be Sam. Do you want to be Sam A or Sam B? It don't matter. You could do any number you want to do. 100,000, 10,000, 5,000. It's people out here that's been janitors, worked in the school system, like in the cafeteria, that was putting away. Look, did y'all hear did you hear Spike Lee's Academy Award acceptance speech? Did you hear what he said about his grandmother? He said, my grandmother saved Social Security checks for 50 years. He said, and you could Google this, so you can go and look it up. He said, my grandmother saved her Social Security checks for 50 years, and that's what paid for me to go to college. So guess what? Guess what she did? She did this. Right? 2013, I'm going to do it again. 2013, 2017, 85%, 75%, 60%. They were like this. This is theirs, right? And this is ours. Right? And then I said, okay, here's a gap. Right? But guess what, Spike Lee? His grandmother saved 50 years of Social Security checks and sent him to Morehouse and then to New York, to NYU film school. right? So she sent him. Guess what she did? Now, she didn't say he came out with no debt, but because she paid for it, guess what? Hers was like this. She did it like this. Now that's a lot closer. Even if she, I don't know, she could have paid it all. But even if she didn't pay it all, say she paid a little bit of it. This, right here, that's a lot shorter than this right here. So what we got to do is we got to really start thinking about how we manage money. These gaps ain't going, these gaps are in everything, from real estate to investments. I've talked about you need to open up a Fidelity account. The first thing, every week somebody asks me about, man, give me some steps. I want some 1, 2, 3. Like what I need to do, 1, 2, 3. I'm gonna give you 1, 2, 3 right now. If you do these 1, 2, 3, I promise you, you're gonna be in another space. Right? Here go 1, 2, 3 for you right now. So y'all want to say the Daily Bread Radio Show? He just be on there talking. Step 1. Step 1. Here goes step 1 right here. There goes step 1. What does that say? That's step 1. Make a decision. What you want to do? You want to be Sally A? You want to be Sally B? Make a decision. You want to get to the point where you can save more money? Huh? That's what you want to do? Or you want to save more money? Or you want your credit better? Huh? Or you want to understand, or you want to eliminate debt? That's step 1 right there. Make a decision. Right? Make a decision. You want step 2? All right. Here goes step 2. Let me write it out for you. Here goes step 2. Right? This step 2. Here goes step 2 right here. Make a plan. Just in case y'all can't read that or if I'm writing crazy. That's step 2. People say, oh, man, I want you to give me the steps. How to get out of debt. Make a plan. Man, I want to improve my credit. Make a plan. Man, I want more money. Make a plan. Step 1, make a decision. Step 2, make a plan. What you want? You want another step? You want something else you can follow? Here goes another step for you right here. Here goes step 3. Right? Here's step 3. You know what step 3 is? Start saving. And I'm going to put this in goddamn parentheses. Something. Right? And the reason I put something is this. The real number is 10%. Start saving 10%. People come to me all the time, man, I can't save no, man, I ain't got no 10%. I'm barely making it you know why you barely making it? Because you ain't ever started saving 10%. Let me give you a scenario. If you walked into your job tomorrow, whether you got a job or you're an entrepreneur, just tomorrow morning, Friday morning, March the 8th, you walk in, hey, Tom, what's going on? Oh, I'm good. How you doing? Oh, getting ready for the weekend? Yeah, we need to talk to you. You need to talk to me? Me? Yeah, I need to talk to you. We got some changes going on in the company. Our financial statements, we noticed that our budget is a little tighter than we expected. We've kind of, overextended ourselves in some areas. That plant down in Louisiana is not as profitable as we thought. So what's going on in your mind? You know what you're thinking? It's over. That's what you think. You're like, oh, they got me. So they tell you this. They say, okay, listen, this is what we want to tell you. We want to let you know, first thing this morning, starting the day. We know today's payday. So starting the day, guess what? You're going to have to take a 10% decrease in pay.
That's it? That's it?
Oh, I thought it was shot. I thought it was shot. No, you just need to take you're going to take a 10% decrease in pay. You know what you would say? If Mr. Charlie told you that, If Mr. Charlie told you that today, well, tomorrow, because you through working for the day, tomorrow, if Mr. Charlie told you tomorrow, you got to take a 10% cut in pay, you know what you would say? Shucks, I thought it was over. I thought it was all over, right? That's what you would say. But guess what? The thing about it is this. Why we do it for them, but we won't do it for ourselves. If you won't do it for yourself, do it for your kids. I mean, do it for your grandkids. Do it for your wife. Do it for somebody, right? Just start saving 10%. If you say I can't do 10%, it's like working out. I can't do 5%. Do something, right? That's 1, 2, 3, right? That's 1, 2, 3. I got some more steps, but I think if you do these 3 things, and why do I just make a decision, plan, and then start saving? You know why you got to start saving? This is why. Because if you save something, and you get to the point where you get to $1,000 in savings, that's not important. The $1,000 is not important. What's important is this: the habit that you've created, the habit of saving, the habit of putting something away, the habit. That's what you're going to gain. Don't worry about the 10%. The 10% is just going to make you more obedient, right? But you got to start paying. You have to. That's a law, like gravity. You have to pay yourself first. If you don't pay yourself first, you don't get paid. You work for free. If you pay all your bills first and don't pay yourself first, you don't get paid. You don't get paid. So you got to start doing that. You have to pay yourself first, because you are the captain of your ship. You are the master of your soul. Pay yourself first. Once you start paying yourself first and you start to accumulate a little something, then when things come popping up, oh, my car battery went out. Oh, I need to do such and such. Oh, it's going to be, you have it over here. You can just take that little 300 or 400 from your little stash you got over there and keep going. But as long as you don't do that, you're going to be like Sally B. You're going to be robbing Peter to pay Paul. And I'm telling you from experience. I'm not telling you about no theory. I'm telling you something that I done lived through. This is real. But once you start doing this, guess what you start doing? Instead of you walking in like this, you walk into the bank like, I'm ready to apply for a loan. Because I seen some property that I want to get. And you ain't like this. Oh, I sure hope they don't turn me down. Oh, you walk in like, what application? What I need to do? Who in charge? Get them over here. That's how you walk in there. You in charge. Hey, I'm ready to apply for a loan. Yeah, I seen some real estate I want to buy. Oh, well, you can pull my credit. I understand. Got 700 plus, got money in the bank. Matter of fact, got money in this bank. So what do we need to talk about? Then you have a different conversation. You don't go in there, hey, can I apply for a loan? And then in your mind, you're like, ooh, I hope they don't turn me down. They're going to turn you down because you don't have this. You got to have some skin in the game. When you play poker, you play any other game, Monopoly, cash flow, guess what? You got to have some money. You got to have some money. So if you don't have no money, you're not in the game. You can't play. You can't play blackjack. You can't play poker. You can't play baccarat. What game can you play without money? You're not gambling, but you can't even get in the game without money. Save something. You have to save something. And if you don't save it for yourself, save it for your kids and your kids' kids. Right? Because just like our ancestors, they didn't go to college. A lot of them dropped out in elementary and middle school. Why? Because they had to work. They was working in the field. But guess what? In their mind, they saw my grandson, my granddaughter, they're going to be able to go to college. That's why you got so many kids going to college now and getting out. That's because of their grandparents and their great-grandparents, because that's what they wanted for them. Everything we doing now is economic based. We live in a capitalistic society. And if you don't believe me, I'm gonna tell you like I told them kids today at Morehouse. If you don't believe me, answer this question. Go in your kid's room or in your closet right now. Open the closet and look in there. And count up how much you done spent in shoes. Me included, because I know it's just something about shoes, whatever, right? So if you got Nikes and Vapor Max and you got, all these other shoes and all this, just count up how much money that is. $100 for this pair, $200 for that pair, $150 for that one. Oh, they really love these. You got the Gucci loafers, you got this, you got that. Just kind of add it up in your mind, right? Maybe, is it more than $1,000? More than likely. More than likely. But if you don't have savings, think about all them shoes. So now you start thinking about it in the future. You got an Apple phone. Everybody's talking about they got an Apple. But do you have Apple stock? Do you have Nike stock? It don't work that way. So while we buying shoes, our counterparts are buying stock. While we buying phones, I need the 10. No, you can get an iPhone 5. It still does the same thing. My Ace on this phone right now is 2018. He had a flip phone. And contact people, got a network bigger than anybody that I know. 5,000 people in his phone, his flip phone. You don't need an iPhone 10. That's brainwashing. You don't need to spend $1,000 for a phone and don't have $1,000 in a savings account or bank account or something. That's how we change the paradigm. And then when you get a lot of people, in your family, you got 1,000, your wife got 1,000, your son got 1,000, your daughter got 1,000, your cousin got 1,000, and all of y'all collected, we got 10,000. When it's time to buy something, guess what? We ain't got to ask for the down payment. We could put our 10,000, like we got the down payment. Give us that piece of property. Because we know what's getting ready to happen. That's what we're doing on the Daily Bread Radio Show. So I know we went over we got a couple minutes left. So book of the week this week. Here's the book of the week this week. I'm going to give you all some homework. Go back and read The Law of Success by Napoleon Hill. Go back and read The Law of Success. And there's a chapter in The Law of Success. The last time I highlighted imagination. Now we're going to go to a different chapter. There's a chapter in that book that's focused on self-control. Self-control. And what he talks about in that chapter on self-control is once you get control of yourself, right? Meaning you don't get upset somebody, man, your hair nappy, man, ain't nappy. Don't, bruh. Once you could calm down and control yourself, once you can control your diet, once you can control your temper, once you can control your urges, your temptations, once you can control how you respond to people, when you feel like they, whatever, disrespected you, said something crazy, whatever, once you can have a calmness about you that's so intact, guess what? Now you in control. You can control everything at that point. But until you get self-control, even if I gave you $1 million, if I gave you $1 million in less than 2 years, this is research, in less than 24 months, that money, not only would that money be gone, you would be in more debt. If I gave you $1 million, self-control, you got to be able to receive it and be under control. Like, I'm not worked up about that, right? We got to get, so go back, check out Napoleon Hill, and check out the chapter. It's called Self-Control. So that's going to be the book of the week. We got the whiteboard. If you got something specific that you want me to talk about, next week is episode 95. Next week is episode 95. So we got some great guests that's coming up. This weekend, Saturday, that's going to be March the 9th. Mm-hmm. We're doing Celebration of Black Women, sponsored by Real Women of Atlanta magazine. We're going to be down at the Savannah College of Art and Design, SCAD. Red carpet starts at 6 p.m. The event starts at 7. Yours truly is going to be the host with the most. Steve Harvey, move over. It's a new sheriff in town. I'm coming through, right? You done had your reign for a while. Let somebody else hold that for. Let me hold something, like they used to say back in the day. Let me hold something. Hey, this is my ministry. This is what I do. I can help you. If you need help, I can help you. Reach out to me. Call me, text me. Send me a question. If you're like, hey, I want to call into the show, send me a question. I'm here to help you. Because if we don't help each other, right, ain't nobody coming to help us. So stop looking for help from somewhere else. We got a wealth of knowledge right here, and I'll give it to you. I'm giving it away, right? Been giving it away. Next week, episode 95, we got some great programs coming. We started to shoot our 6th pilot episode today at Morehouse College. So shout out to Black Noise Production. They doing their thing over there. And we just believing that God is going to continue to sow seed in our lives. And we just going to make it manifest. Because you got to change. And that's a step that I did put it there. I said, make a decision. You can't keep doing what you're doing. You have to make it. So people wanted steps, there you go. Step 1, step 2, step 3. Make a decision, make a plan, and save something. Think of your 3 steps for this week.
Say something to Cornbread. He's still holding on.
Cornbread, hey man, appreciate you, bro. I'll see you in a couple weeks because we got that big show that's coming up. I know you coming to town for that. So we'll have a whiteboard in effect. Anything that you want to talk about, you bring that to the show. And like as always, and we're going to do some, I haven't tested on that, but we're going to do some more research and work on that project that me and you've been talking about related to Black Wall Street. So we're going to make that happen as well because it's all, hey, we don't have no bars, right? Meaning that we don't have no restriction. We can do whatever we want to do on any medium that we want to do it in. So social media, different platforms, we do our own filming, we do our own narration, we put it out there to the world. So we don't have to ask nobody for permission. We don't have to ask for no permission from nobody. We greenlight our own projects. So with that being said, Cornbread, I appreciate you, man. Love you.
Yes, sir.
Thank you for all the support. And we'll talk soon, brother.
Yes, sir.
Hey! Man, why you playing that? That other crazy music, man. I heard something in the background. Hey, y'all, man. Check this out. This is shutdown now. That's the laser cue. Had this on since 7 o'clock. That's what we do.
Who?
Are you?